welcome to the podcast. I am Melissa Matheson, and it's another Monday, and I am so glad that you are here. Why is that, you say? Something special happening today? Well, actually, I wanted to ask if you would be my guest for coffee today. You see, I'm on the road in Tennessee helping some family through a medical situation, so I am not at home, and I am not at my table having a conversation with anyone, but I couldn't let a Monday go by without making sure you and I could get together for a cup of coffee. Hopefully this won't be too awkward of a conversation because even though you and I are having coffee, I can't ask you questions or hear your answers, even if I did ask them. So that leaves me doing all the talking, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. It's not that I don't have a lot to say. I just always love hearing other people's stories and asking lots of questions. I'm actually in a really weird question asking season of my life. Not just serious questions, but random questions like, why did that shorter doctor wearing scrubs at the hospital this week roll up his pant legs instead of putting on a shorter pair of scrubs? And why does that old lady's walker sitting across from me have handbrakes on it? If she wants to stop, why doesn't she just stop walking? Why does she have to have a handbrake? See, just questions. I have lots and lots of questions. Maybe I'm just tired from a long, busy week, but it seems like suddenly my mind is aware of new and different things around me that are provoking questions that are in a way helping me find solutions or seek out answers. Back to the serious questions like, God, what's next? Seriously, do you think I have this podcast just because I know what I'm doing with my life, and so I'm going to start a podcast and have friends over for coffee so I can help them figure out what's next? Or for you listening each week to figure out what's next for you simply by listening to us talk? Nope, I'm actually talking about navigating life transitions with friends over coffee because now more than ever in my life, I have more questions about what's next for me. And hopefully just being able to talk about where we've been and where we are and what is going on in our lives, well, hopefully it encourages us and helps us move forward into whatever God has next for each of us. The truth is, friend, we are always in transition and always will be. Why? Because the only thing we can be certain of in life is change. Change is constant, and we need to be able to navigate change well. My life has been a little upside down for a while now. I could say the last year, but then I could back up to some major transition the year before that and the year before that, and I could probably just keep going. I'm talking like big transitions, like being a single mom for 10 years and getting married 5 years ago. Big transitions like buying a house and spending 18 months renovating it. Big transitions like a storm in the middle of the night that puts a massive tree on your house and completely destroys it while you and your family are sleeping inside. Big transitions like moving 5 times in 18 months while you're rebuilding your house. Big transitions like leaving a job you love and have had for 10 years simply because God said it was time, and then being unemployed while waiting for what's next. Big transition like one of my sisters finding out she has cancer while she's pregnant and spending months walking alongside her family through her treatment. Can I just be honest? Guys, I'm tired. And I keep thinking surely one day things are going to calm down, fall into place, and be normal. Wait, is that even a thing? Is there ever such a thing as normal? So this week, feeling overwhelmed with some difficult things happening, I looked up the definition of normal. Listen to this definition. Normal, a line at right angles to a given line or surface. Now, I know they're talking about angles like a 90-degree angle. But when I read that, a line at right angles, it talked to me about perspective. What is my perspective? What am I seeing when I look at whatever particular transition I'm going through? My perspective can be my normal. And what am I seeing? Am I seeing rightly? Am I seeing in fear and in doubt and anxiety? Or am I seeing, is the angle in which I'm viewing things godly? Is it kingdom? Is it biblical? Is it trusting God? Normal, conforming to a standard, a usual, typical, or expected. So what does normal look like when you're in transition? See, I have lots of questions. But here's the thing about questions. Questions are an invitation to search out an answer. So what does normal look like in transition? I'll tell you a few things that have encouraged me and maybe will help you also. First, I've learned to be okay with not being okay. Let me say it again. Be okay with not being okay sometimes. Guys, sometimes things can happen out in left field that can knock you flat on your back. Things you didn't expect and you're not sure what to do with. It's okay to not be okay for a minute. God is big and He can handle it. I think we're the ones that struggle with it though, so if we can learn it's okay to not be okay, it'll allow us to process and move forward instead of staying stuck and paralyzed with hurt and fear. Next, pay attention to little things, the words, the phrases you see or hear multiple times. This can be your normal in transition, to hear from God, whether it's through people, through songs, through something you read, that God is always speaking, and it is normal in transition. If you have the right perspective, you can hear from God. There are ways He speaks to us that give us peace, that comfort us, and can give us direction and strategy to move forward. Next, take practical steps to move forward. So you might be stuck. You might be in the middle of a transition and needing something to happen. In the meantime, take a class, pack a box, update your resume, paint the nursery, or start a podcast. When you're in transition, what you do matters. What you say matters. Surround yourself with people and things full of hope and purpose and anticipation. These are things that build your faith. Some of you are needing big things to happen, and you are in the middle of major transitions. You're going to need big faith and coffee, lots of coffee, and conversations with people that you know and trust. Oh, and ask questions. God is not afraid of your questions. If you're going through a transition in any way, just keep moving forward. Reach out when you need help and wake up every day thinking that this could be the day that everything changes. I hope you can look back on the season of your life one day and just see how good God has been. I've been humming that old hymn for months now. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Because He's been so faithful to me. In all my transition, this is my normal. God is good. God is faithful. Everything's going to be okay. He has a purpose. He has a plan. These are normals that you need to meditate on when you're going through transition. God is good and He is faithful. Friend, I'll be back here on Wednesday with a conversation with some of my married friends about how they met, dated, and married. Oh, and P.S., a shout out to all the mamas out there with small babies. I've been taking care of my sister's 6-month-old who does not sleep through the night. And y'all, I think I'm too old for this. Moms with small babies, you're the real MVPs. Grace, grace, grace. I pray all these babies start sleeping through the night. And on that note, I think it's time for me to go take a little nap. Friend, come join us on Wednesday as we sit around the table, have a good cup of coffee, not the hospital kind, and talk about what's next, God.